This is part 2 of tonight's episode of MAFS, where a toupee-wielding Frenchman turns out to also be violent. But before we get into it, if you love my reviews, hit that follow button and let's do this every night together. So Scum of the World here is trying to control the narrative. He's laid the groundwork to present Athena as the villain, he's given his version of events, and now he's attempting to silence her. But Athena was not having this double standard. She said that normally, when things go awry in their relationship, she has this overwhelming urge to just fix it and meet his requests. But on this occasion, she didn't have that desire. Our queen has got her sparkle back, and it's so beautiful to see her shine. Morena and Tony rocked up in matching outfits again. Veronica made her solo appearance. She immediately gravitated towards Lauren. They were buddies, and Farquaad hated it. Karina and Paul were en route to the dinner party, and Paul was really nervous because he knew that he had to reveal to the group that he's violent, despicable swine. The couple entered and were not acting like their normal selves. Next minute, dinner was served. Paul was in a voxy and he was like, I'm really anxious about the dinner because I have to tell the group that I'm violent and I don't want to be judged for that. I have bad news for you, Paul. Everyone sat down for dinner and Paul tapped his glass. This was Paul's performance. I'm sure you've all noticed that I wasn't my full self walking in tonight. I've done something that I regret, and that is unacceptable. Karina and I had our first fight. There were some things that she said to me that made me feel embarrassed and betrayed, and we had a big argument. Whenever I have a fight, I'm someone who withdraws, and I just need to be left alone. Karina chased me, and I started to feel trapped. I just wanted to leave, and that made me feel more angry. And in that moment, everything just happened so fast. And then I punched a hole in a wall. Notice how his entire description of the events that transpired were Karina did this, Karina did this, Karina did this, Karina did this, Karina did this. Oh, and then I punched a hole in a wall. He then said that it wasn't the right thing to do, that he hates himself, and that he's apologized to Karina, but he wants to apologize to her again. He then finished it with, this isn't me, and I've never done this in my life. Well, you'd hope so. Where's Jasmine Eats when you need her? Dave was the only man to pipe up and actually speak out about how outrageous this behaviour is. He said, I don't condone this behaviour at all. The other men, they had stuff to say, but they didn't do it to Paul's face. They did it in Voxy. Not good enough. The reason we have such a problem with violence against women in Australia is because other men allow this behaviour to happen. We need more Daves. We need more advocates for females. We need more men in our corner doing God's work like what Dave did tonight. Thank you, Dave, from every female. The group asked how Karina felt, and she said, I was shocked. I don't tolerate this behaviour. However, he's not like this. He doesn't treat me incorrectly and I don't feel unsafe. He was so upset about what he did. I won't tolerate his behaviour and I won't accept it, but he is remorseful and I forgive him. She finished by saying, Paul isn't that character at all. But he is. He is. He just showed us all that that is exactly who he is. Elliot said that this behaviour needs to be called out. Even if you acknowledge it, it's still despicable. Totally agree with you, Elliot, and I look forward to see you doing that. Jeff said that it wasn't good enough, but notice that no other man voiced this at the table, and I don't know, maybe they did, they just didn't show it, but it would have been really nice if that did happen, to have a representation of other men holding Paul accountable. Jamie lightened the mood by telling everyone she's a fish mum now, and then her and Dave had this really cute moment. He said that he gives
She gives him butterflies. I just love them so much. Afina then described her side of the story and her version of events from Family and Friends Week. She said that Adrian's family and friends pointed out the fact that she only focuses on Adrian's failures and wondered what Adrian had said to them for them to believe this, and also wondered why he was trying to alienate her from his family. This week was meant to be redemption week for Scum of the Earth, and so Afina was like, why did you even write stay? Jamie asked what Scum of the Earth had done to show up for Afina this week. Scum of the Earth was like, oh, well, like on Tuesday, I asked Afina to go for a walk with me. The group were then like, have you guys done anything nice together ever? Have you gone to like a nice dinner or anything? Scum of the Earth goes, yeah, of course we've gone to dinner. We've gone to Nando's. Jamie had the best call. She was like, Adrian, if your family think that this is the most that you've ever shown up in a relationship, all you must have been doing in your previous relationships is breathing. And Adrian couldn't work out what she was getting at because he is as thick as a brick. He then started yelling at the group, being like, well, does anyone care about what I feel like? Does anyone care about my feelings and shit? And the group was like, no, not even in the slightest, Adrian. Not at all. Tony said that he'd been struggling this week, and Morena goes, yeah, well, Tony, I've been struggling this whole experience because as soon as you found out that I was 57, you had a problem. The group were like, oh my God, Morena. And then she was like, no. Well, this week we found out why Tony doesn't want a 57-year-old. Because Tony wants a baby. Tony was like, Morena, you don't realize how beautiful you are. You're stunning. You're a stunning woman, but your personality, it sucks. Morena said that she knows her worth. She knows she has a lot of love to give, and she doesn't deserve that baby. Veronica and Elliot then started fighting over their task this week. Veronica was like, I just didn't feel that I learned anything from you, Elliot. And Elliot was like, I told you that my sister was in a coma and has suffered a debilitating disease for her entire life. And all of the group were like, oh, that is actually kind of huge. Finally, the group was like, okay, guys, are you willing to work on your relationship? Veronica, she said, yes. Elliot, So I think these guys will stay. The episode finished with Jackie throwing a tantrum, claiming Ree had shamed her and ridiculed her and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, no one was having a bar of it. And Ryan was like, let my wife speak. Jackie cried for a bit, Ree apologized. They got over it. Anyway, who's excited for the commitment ceremony? I am. If you love my reviews, hit that follow button and I'll be here, same time, same place, Sunday night. See you then.